Yeah, it's early hours, so yeah, welcome to my mystery part of my getting to know me by my physical TBR. Sorry. Let's start by Eric L. Larry. We have, I guess, Shutdown. Then by Arturo Perez Reverte, if I'm pronouncing that one correctly. Yeah. I don't know. I guess it's called the trommel. No, the drum. Something about drum. Yeah. How do you call it? Um, the skin that's put around the drum, so you can bang on it. So let's say the drum skin. I guess that's the correct name. Then by Andreas Esbach, I have the Riches of Saud. And then by Catherine Ho, I have a book that is called the Physic Book of Deliverance Dane. So, can't wait to find out. Then one by John Connolly, and that one is called The Reapers. So, yeah. One by Sam Krister. Another one's called The Turin Shroud Secret. So, yeah, I guess that's where the mystery comes from, right? Also, some of the books are maybe you can classify them as detectives, but I made the rule for myself if it's not a policeman or an ex-policeman or a cop or a private detective, but only a man or a woman on the hunt or on the search for something or someone. I did classify it also as a mystery and not as a detective. So if you see some books you think, hey, but that's a detective, that's the main reason why. Yeah, continue with Alex van Galen. It's a Dutch author, so this one will be called Perfect Parents in English. Then by Lincoln Child, Full Wolf Moon. By Jessica Fellows. I guess it's called The Mitford Murders. Yes, it is. Another one by Preston L. Child, and this one is not in the Pendergast series, but in the Gideon Crow series. And let's see what the title is of the book. The Lost Island. Then by Paula Hawkins, this one's called Into the Water. And she's also written Girl on a Train. So, yeah, can't wait to find out. Then by Douglas Preston, from Preston Child. The other one, The Full Wolf Moon, was by Child from that same duo. Yeah, this one's called The Lost City of the Monkey God. So, yep. Then by Patricia Cornwell, her attempt to discover who Jack the Ripper is or was. So that one's called Portrait of a Killer, Jack the Ripper, Case Closed. Then by Lisa Gage, I have a book, and the title of it is Dying Gasp. And then by A.G. Riddle, this is the first part in the Atlantis trilogy. This one's called the Atlantis Gene. And then two books by Sophia McDougall. Yeah, McDougall. This is the first one in, I guess it was called a trilogy. It's set into our present time, but still the Roman Empire remains. So yeah, that's the setting. Yeah, Romanitas or Romanitas, whatever you want to call it, is the title of the first book, and I guess second book will also be called Inferno. No, Rome Burning is the second book. Yeah, and I thought or think there is also part three. I don't own it yet. Yeah, just need to find it somewhere. Then by oopsie doozy, Michael Gruber, I have a book, and that one is called Valley of the Bones. And then by James Rowlands, I have multiple books by him, and this one's called The Last Oracle. By Sarah Waters, I have a book with the title Affinity by Kate Hammer, or Hammer, whatever. This one's called The Doll Funeral by Simon Tolkien. Hey. I have a book that's called Final Witness by Rochelle Meyer-Krieg. And I have a book that's called Where's Mommy Now? As for mystery, maybe that's a good one. Let me see. By Meg Gardner, I have a book, and that one is called China Lake. Okay, sure. And some pockets. The first one is by Michael Marshall, and that one is called Strawman. And I have a couple of books by Greg Iles. And the first one I'm showing you is called Mortal Fear. The second one is called Quiet Game. Yeah, this one is Dead Sleep. Almost all correct translations. This would be 24 hours. Then, yeah, 24 hours for two. And the last one is called Sleep No More. So, those are a couple of books by him. Then by John Katzenbach, of Katzenbach. I have The Analyst. I have two books by James Rollins. I searched him before, but this one is a collaboration of Rebecca Cantrell. The Blood Gospel and Blood Innocent. Or Innocent Blood, I must say, and the Blood Gospel. So, yeah, can't wait to find out. By Dan Simmons, I have The Road. Now I have to see if that's also, yeah, that's the correct title. We're almost there. I have Black Sun by Robert Leininger. I have Pollen and Vurt by Jeff Noon. By Beverly Swirling, I have a book, and that one is called Bristol House. Then by Rainer M. Schröder, I have a book. It's in the first one was in German, so this is probably called the Judas Documents, or the the Judas Papers, or if you want to call it, by Andrew Taylor. I have a book. It's one in a trilogy or in the Roth trilogy, and the Office of the Dead by Ruth Ware. I have a book, and that one is called In a Dark, Dark Wood. Here, two more books to go. The first one is by S.J. Watson, and I have to look it up, and that's called Second Life. And by Frederick Bush, I have a book, and that one's called Girls. So yeah, that is it for the first part, or the first batch of the batch number 2. Still right. Just let's get into it. Another one by Agatha Christie, and it's called The Man in the Brown Suit. Then I have one by Tammy Cohen, and that one is called When She Was Bad, by Monaldi and Sorti. Monaldi and Sorti, my bad. This one is called Imperator. Then by Anonymous, I have the book with no name, or it's also called The Bourbon Kid. So yeah, one of those two titles, you can pick one. Then I have a couple of books by Terry Blackstock. And this one's part of a series. So True Light is the first title I have by her. This one's Ulterior Motives. Then another one by Monaldi and Sorti. This one's about Soleil. Soleil was the assistant or helper, something about it, from Leonardo da Vinci. So yeah, and this will be the Egg of Soleil, if I translate it to English. Then by Terry Hayes, I have I Am Pelgrim. By Adriaan de Haag, or The Hague, whatever you want to call it, The Beijing Conspiracy. So sorry about that one. By Christopher Reich, I think it's called Rules of Deception. And then I have some books by, this one's by Minette Walters, my bad. That's called The Schooled Bridle. And then some books by, Tess Gerritsen, which aren't in the Zoli and Isles series. So these are all standalones. And the first one is called Whistleblower. Then I have Never Say Die. Presumed Guilty. Call After Midnight. In Their Footsteps. And the last one will be called Thieves of Hearts. So yeah, that's some of her work. Then I have some other works by Nikki French, which aren't, like I explained earlier, a true detective in my eyes. This one's called Until It's Over. they've written a lot, right? Losing You. I think it's called Memory Game. Yeah, the Memory Game. Ooh, I did something right there. And Land of the Living. I need to start with this one before it all tumbles down. Let me start with Karen Slaughter yet again, and this one's called Martin Misunderstood. Then by Russell Andrews, I have Gideon. Two more by Nikki French, and these are very short. It's not even 50 pages, but still, it's called The People Who Went Away. And this one is called. Hmm. 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 There isn't a English title of it, so I'll say it's called Loss. By Jeffrey Deaver, I have the October list. By Preston and Childs, one book that isn't in the Pentecost or Gideon series. This one's called Mount Dragon. And then a book by Michael Connolly, Scarecrow. Dead Woman Walking by Sharon Bolton. And I also had the Dutch version already somewhere, maybe here, maybe already in bookshelves, and I need to figure out if I want to keep the English or the Dutch translation. And by Emily Barr, I have, you assume it's called Backpack Rides, but let me see if it's, yep, that's the correct title, so yay for that. On to the bigger books. So by Charles MacLean, I have Home Before Dark. Sharon Bolton again. And this one is called Little Black Lies. Another one by Nikki French, House of Correction. Then by Sherman Alexie, I have a book, and that one's called The Indian Killer by David Ambrose. Mother of God by Gilbert Bordes. Children of Winter, because it's translated from French. Then by William Broderick, the sixth Lamentation. By James Morrow, I have The Last Witchfinder. Three more books by Terry Blackstock. Yep. One's called Predator. Or did I already have that one in Dutch? Need to find that one out. Then I have Last Light. And the last one by her. And that one is called Justifiable Means. So, yep. Then I have here by M.R. Carey, The Girl with All the Gifts. Which gifts? We don't know. Let's find it out. That's why it's a mystery. Then I will try. This is part 2 in a series. And by Daniele Trossoni, and this one is called Angelopolis. And I do have the first one. I need to find it and then I can show you. Then most of you probably know it by Mark Z. Danielewski, House of Leaves. That's the Dutch version. But can't wait to find out. Had heard some great words and some lesser recommendations about it. So I want to judge for myself. Then another one by Harlan Coben. I showed one, I think, in my detective series, and I think that one was a mistake. And I think I need to put it on this one. But that one is Darkest Fear, and there's a double title in Dutch, so they released that one twice. Not really liking that one. By Erik Larsson, I have The Devil in the White City. And by Tosca Lee, I have a book, and that one is called The Progeny. Yeah, I guess that's the right way to pronounce it. Yep, this one's also part of a series. Some more books by Nicky French, because, like I already explained a couple of times now, I think they're all, not detectives, but just mysteries. What to Do When Someone Dies. This one is called Beneath the Skin. Stay there. Secret Smile. Catch Me When I Fall. And the last one is Complicit. So, a lot of books by that author duo, and they're also married, so yeah. Then a book by Nele Lowenberg, and she's also known as Nele Neuhaus, and I have a lot of her work in the detective part of my bookshelves. And this one's called Summer of Truth. And then by Preston and Child in the Gideon series, and this one's called Gideon's Corpse. Then I have The 12 by William Gladstone. And by Stephen Chbosky, if I'm pronouncing that one correctly, I have Imaginary Friend. Almost done with this pile, and 2 more to go. A lot more by Sharon Bolton. This one is called Blood Harvest. Then we have Awakening. And by Ali Land, or Land, however you want to pronounce it, I have a book. That one's called Good Me, Bad Me. Yep. By Amanda Stevens, I have a book, and that one's called The Devil's Footprints. Sounds familiar. By Daniel Hecht, I have a book that's called Skull Sessions. And another one by Daniel Hecht with the same main character. That's the last one. That one is called The Babel Effect. So yeah. Then by Tess Gerritsen, I guess it was a standalone. Yes, it is a standalone. Playing with Fire. You almost dropped it. By Julia Heverlin, or Heberlin, whatever. Black Eyed Susans. And by Max Berry, I have Jennifer Government. Or Government. And let's get the last three right. By Sissel Yo Gazan. Yeah, I have the feathers of the dinosaur. Yep, there's no correct English translation. Then also another one by Nicky French. That one is called Killing Me Softly. And last one of this batch will be by Michael Connolly. And it is called Chasing the Dime. So that's it for batch 2. Hello, welcome to Bye. Whatever, this is batch 3. Let's just start with Michael Ridpath, and this one's called Fatal Error. Then I have 2 books by Ulf Dorn. The first one is called Trigger, just like it said. And the second one is called Kalte Stille, or Freezing Silence. It in English. Then by Andrew Gross, I have a book, and that one's called The Blue Zero. By Michael Marshall Smith, we have a book that's called Only Forward. By Claire McIntosh, we have a book with the title I See You. Then by Umberto Eco, we have a book that's called Baudolino. By Mark Allen Smith, we have a book that's called The Inquisitor. Another one by Umberto Eco, and that one is called The Island of the Day Before. By Neil Stevenson, we have a big one. A very big one, and that one's called The Cryptonomicon. Then by Hector MacDonald, we have a book that's called Storm Prophet. By Lulu Taylor, we have a book with the title The Winter Folly. By Carla Norton, we have a book that's called What Doesn't Kill Her. Alright. By B.A. Paris, we have a book. It is called Behind Closed Doors. Then by A.K. Shevchenko, we have a book that's called Bequest. Yeah, I think this one is quite, I do say it accurately, no. Let's say Russia is invading Ukraine in this book, so you know what I was trying to tell you. I really don't know the word what I meant. Then by Paul Doswell, I have a book, and that one is called Section 20. Then another book by Nicky French, and it is called The Unheard. by no, you were Sebastian Fitzek. We have a book, and that one is called The Joshua Profile by John Case. We have also a bookie, and that one's called The Murder Artist. Yeah. By Charles Elton, we have Mr. Toppet. By Marcus Schulte von Drach, we have Fiora. Then by William Whitmore, I have here 3 books. I have also the 4th one in this Jerusalem quartet. Yeah, the first one is called Sinai Tapestry. The second one is called Nile Shadows, so the River Nile. And I guess the first one would be Jerusalem Polka. Yes, that's the first title. At least I did show you the wrong order. This is part 1. So Sinai Tapestry is the first book. Jerusalem Poker is the second one. And what was the one called again? The Nile Shadows is part 3. And there's also part 4. Then by Steve Mosby, we have Dark Room by J.K. Rowling. And this one's not in the Harry Potter world, so it's The Casual Vacancy by Gillian Flynn. We have book Dark Places by Han Thomas. Yeah, Han Thomas. And that one is, oh, it's a Dutch author. Didn't realize that one. It's called The Darwin Dilemma. By Jo Fielding. I have also a book by her, and that one is called Charlie's Web. By Janet Hanna, The Wish to Kill. Another one by Monaldi and Sorti. Disclosure, I guess that one should be translated as. Then another one by Sebastian Fitzek, and this one's called The Therapy. Gone Girl by also Gillian Flynn. By Jo Klaas. I think it's called The Myth of Methuselah, or Methuselah, however you pronounce it. Then by Lisa Ungar, we have a book, and that one's called Beautiful Lies. Get this too ready. By Leslie Forbes, we have a book that is called Bombay Ice. And another one, by Frank Tillich. This one is. And yeah, let's say the title is Kataka, something like that one. And 2 more books by Andreas Esbach, and Armageddon Conspiracy, and the King's Mafia, or the King's Mob, whatever you want, something like that. By Carly Fitzpatrick, we have The Ninth Stone. Then I also have The Circle by Dave Eggers. By Monaldi and TBR Mysterium. That's fitting for the series, right? Also by them, The Doubt of Salai. And by Christopher J. Yates, we have, let me see, A Black Chalk. So yeah, that's it for batch 3. Up to the final batch, batch 4. Yeah, open by batch 4. As you can see, this shelf was all batch 4. So let's get right into it. I have some books by Tom Wood, and this one's called The Killer. I have Vodka by Boris Starling, mentioned that book in another video. I have The Killing Part 3 by David Hewson, by Wolfram Fleischnauer. Let's see if there's nope. I think it's called The Hand of the Painter. Sorry if I make too much noise by putting down the books. Then by Nora Roberts, The Shelter in Place. By Preston and Child, I have Thunderhead. By Nora Roberts and J.G. Robb, I have a book, and that one's called Remember When. By Lulu Taylor, we have a book, and that one is called The Winter Children. And I have 2 books by Alex Marwood. Yeah. Let's see if this one's also called Behind Closed. The Killer Next Door. And The Darkest Secret. Then some by Clay Jacobson. And this one is called The Circle of 7. Then by Eleanor Catton, The Luminaries. Heard some good things about that book, so got it as a gift from a friend who said, or she said, please, please, please read it. So yeah, it's on my TBR, so I'll read it someday. Really don't know when, but it's pretty much, I guess, really high on my priority list. Then Prey by Jacques van de Baan. Buzz by Anders de Lamotte. By Bill Napier, we have Revelation. And another one by Monaldi and Sorti. This one is called Veritas. Then by Robert Bouval. Bouval. If you're Dutch, you know what I mean. There isn't the English title, so I guess the title is The Secret Chamber. Then by John 12 Hawks, we have a book, and that one's called The Traveler. By Sarah Lotz, The Free. Yeah, it's called Free, but you can, if you can see, maybe within the shimmering. There are three things in red, and there's a fourth one in black. So maybe it has something to do with the plot of the book. I don't know. Can't wait to find out. Then by Chris Larsgaard, we have The Air Hunter. By Philip Kerr, we have a book, and that one is called Gridiron. Sure, whatever. By Geert Kempen, we have a book that's called Rachel or the Mystery of Love. Yeah. And then by Elizabeth Kostova, we have, let's see if there's there an English title. Yes, there is. It's called The Swan Feeds. And I have two books by Isabel Ashdown. I think Little Sister and Little Lies. If I'm translating it now from... Nope. This one, instead of Little Lies, it's Beautiful Liars. Really need to make a series of bad Dutch translations, aren't I? Little Sister is translated correctly. Then, yeah, the sleeve is missing, so it's a black book. Nice. No, it's by Dennis Lehane, and this one's called Shutter Island. So yeah, maybe you've seen the movie. I did see it. Yeah, it was fine. Another one by Clay Jacobson, and this one is called Interview with the Devil. By Michael Chambon. Let's see, what was the Yiddish Policeman Union. So yeah. Yes, that's this one. Orphan X by Craig Hurwitz. That's also one I have. Then by Darian North, we have Thief Souls. And by Brandolyn Collins, we have, or I have, no, it's we, I think we're all one together. Dark Justice. It's getting darker here, right? So let me hurry up. Two books by L.S. Hilton. It's part of a series. The first one is called Maestra. Yes, whatever. And this one's called Domina, so they're translated correctly, or just have the same title. Let's put it that way. By John Mars, we have... Ooh, sounds interesting already. The One. At least what I've shown inside. Looks promising and interesting, so can't wait to start that one. Yeah, 5 more books to go. By Peter Moore Smith, we have a book, and that's called Reveling. By Helene van den Hoven, we have the Karpa Complot, or the Karpa Conspiracy. I think I need to say that one correctly in English, right? So the last one I have by Monaldi and Sorti is Secretum, or Secret. What is it? It's a secret, right? So at least it's about a secret that's out there. And then I have 2 books by Rosamund Lupton. Yeah, this one follows this one. This part 1, this part 2. And it's called Sister. And I guess this will be called Late Afterwards. So yeah, that's it for my mystery physical TBR books I have. There are a lot of them. Still need to sort them out, and then I guess I will fill some of the shelves behind me with them. So, yeah, in the next video, you'll see the progress I've made. Bye!